Hi ladies and gentlemen, today we're looking at the motor mounts on a 2010 Subaru Legacy with a 3.6R engine. I already unbolted it from the engine. I reach in there and wiggle it. So there's the two bolt holes that go to the engine. Now they got this other half which holds a long 6-inch or so bolt that goes in between here. Now this had a rubber insert, so I could take it out with my fingers. It was probably doing some kind of cushioning, but it had torn loose. Good time to change it. Now to get this thing out, there's something right here. Of course you have to jack the engine up a bit higher. Oh boy. Dropping my camera. So here's my wood block on my oil pan. See this tube and hose? Well, I think I feel like a 10mm bolt that holds this on, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to slide that out of the way, jack the engine up some more, and then this piece will come out. Alright, so this is to the engine, this is to the body, and of course it's holding weight unless you jack it up just right until you get the tension off of that rod that goes through. I'll show you the rod in a minute. And then, well, you got to hold both sides. You unscrew the nut on the rod, and you can take it out, which then frees this. Well, of course, you also have to use the two 14mm bolts. And since it's a narrow space in there, so you definitely want to have a ratchet wrench to save time. And wear gloves, it's awful greasy. Alright, right there you can see the side left and right motor mounts. There on each side of the engine. And then there's a fourth mount on the transmission way in the back yonder. I'm not going to mess with that today, just the 3 front mounts. Alright, let me get out from underneath the car and we'll look over some stuff together. Won't you be my neighbor? Alright. Just a sec, let me get up. I'm getting old. Alright, and here we are at the top of the engine. And so, the first motor mount, you reach in from the top and you get the two 14mm bolts unscrewed. You definitely see they're already unscrewed there. And then on the side, there's the top of that motor mount right there. So I've already taken the 14mm off of there. I used a long extension and a 3/8" ratchet. So, and of course a piece of pipe on the handle to get more torque, and again on the other side. Now let's just take a quick peek at where you get at it from this side, underneath. So there you go, there's your rack and pinion, and right above that you're gonna see the two holes where I've taken out the two nuts And here's the new one. So these, that's what you would have had going in the holes I just showed you. And then coming out the top is that. Now, you see your exhaust manifold? That's going to limit how high you can jack up your car. However, there's a little trick. On the mounts here, I assume they're original equipment, you can grab with a vice grip onto that shaft and rotate it. Of course, you're going to damage you're going to put some marks in your threads, so that you can take this out of your way, which I'm hoping it makes, I haven't done it yet, but I'm hoping that makes it possible to sneak this in without having to jack it any higher and having the need to unbolt your exhaust manifold. Alright, let me keep talking here. Alright, I don't seem to see it, but here's your sort of 6-inch bolt that was holding. Let me show a picture of it. Right, it would go here. So this is my picture of the engine. There's the motor mount with the rubber. You saw the rubber was missing, but I pulled it out by hand. And then the part on the car has no rubber, but this bolt would go between the two. And of course, if one is pushing down on the bolt, then it's hard to take out, of course, after that's gotten loose. So what you do is find the sweet spot by raising and lowering your jack gently until this becomes, you can wiggle it by hand, it's kind of free, and you can unscrew it and pull it out. So that frees up that connection. Now here we are over here at the other. Now this is what that'll be on the front of the car, but that's your radiator slash condenser for your AC. There's your oil pan, using the oil pan and block of wood lift technique. Now here's your mount, and you're gonna have to. I tried it. It does turn. So the original equipment mounts appear to turn when you grab that with a locking vice grips. You can get it loose and rotating it, and then it comes up more freely. But then this can just slide to the side and you can pull it out. When that's still there, I fought with this for an hour last night, and I sprayed that release compound on my exhaust manifold, thinking I was going to have to, unscrew my exhaust manifold to raise the engine higher. But fortunately, the first thing I did when my where to go came in, I checked to see if this could unscrew. Now this is, I think, I've forgotten the name. I took it out of the box. It's a Marmon. I think that's part of the name, or something something similar to Marmon. Yeah, I took. Now this, when it came from the box, it was not loose. I had to also grab the shaft of this with some vice grips to get it to start to unscrew. But fortunately, it was able to unscrew. Now there's one thing to notice, that before you take your old ones out, you might want to make a mark with like a yellow mark to show the orientation, because if you look at the top of this, it's not symmetrical. It's probably meant to go in one way or another, and just for your own peace of mind. And also has some different shapes on one side compared to the other. So you definitely want to look at how your original mounts were oriented, because you can get this easily spun around a half turn, and how do you know which is the right way? It might be kind of hard to tell. But it seems to be, with those few tricks of this being able to unscrew, and then finding the sweet spot and using ratchet wrenches, the kind that you can, you know, that's turn, you know what a ratchet wrench is, I hope. I think that's the right word for it. Alright, thanks for watching, and good luck on your motor mount job on your Subaru 2010 and probably other years Legacy.